everyone, this is Catherine. Here I am again. I have my paper, I have my cups, I have my new palette knives, freshly arrived today. So what a better way to christen them than to do some acrylic pouring. Be prepared for some new experiments. And well, we've got some cell action happening, but the question is it too thin now? We shall see. Well, it's certainly flowing faster. It's sort of gliding over itself. These paints were made up from Sonja acrylics with Sonja flow medium in a 1:1 ratio, and then water added. And it's certainly flowing a lot faster than it was last time. But of course this may end up being too thin. Oh, I can use a little palette knife. Yeah. And let's get you over here. Right, and I've now managed to put paint on my City Up cup. Well, we've got some interesting zigzags here. Now, this is my butane torch, which it says fill with gas before use, and the sticker is coming off. Okay, I will remove the sticker altogether. Now, the purpose of a butane torch, or some other kind of heat source, is twofold. One, to pop air bubbles, and like that is probably an air bubble. Now that's definitely an air bubble. And you see, the problem with air bubbles is if you try to just pop them, they move away from you. They're sneaky bastards. So see, there's some air bubbles popping. But what is also happening is that this is apparently encouraging movement in the paint and thus creating cells. Now, why does it pop air bubbles? I don't know. The reason I don't know is because I have come across two different theories which people have proposed, neither of which they have actually proved. And one theory is that it is the heat which causes the air bubbles to expand and thus pop. And another theory says that it is the carbon dioxide or lack of oxygen which causes the air bubbles to pop. Possibly because another method of getting air bubbles to pop is to blow through a straw. And you have to agree that a human breath is not very hot. So, so you sort of say, well, why is blowing through a straw cause air bubbles to pop? It must be the carbon dioxide in your breath. But as I said, nobody has actually done a scientific test that I can come across. I have Googled for, why does a butane torch pop air bubbles? And all I have gotten in reply, in return, was a whole bunch of forums of various kinds where people do resin craft, saying, I've got air bubbles. How do I pop them? Use a butane torch. And then one or the other of the theories is then propounded as to why that works. More movement, but not as many bubbles as last time. Interesting. So it may actually be too thin, or at least not enough pouring medium. Oh well, too late now. I'm just going around and around and sort of making vague zigzaggy things. Okay, torch again. Interesting, because it is still bringing out little cell things, but not where the carbon black is. Oh, okay, I'm wrong. Look, there's some cells coming out where the carbon black is, which is contrary to what I would expect, because you would expect that since the carbon black is supposed to be the lighter one, that you wouldn't be getting white cells coming out. Curiouser and curiouser. Well, it is interesting, at least. And as I get more experienced, I'll have more control over this stuff. Well, as much as you can get, considering. Okay, this one goes off to dry. The next one, which will be interesting, because I went off and looked at specific gravity information, and while Sonja doesn't have specific gravity information. Oh, by the way, specific gravity is a measure of density of a liquid as compared to that of water, so that you compare it to water and you get a number. So the one I just put in was green oxide. otherwise known as Chromium Oxide Green, depending on where you look. This is Mars Black, which is a different black to carbon black, because it is based on iron oxide. Did you know that there are multiple forms of iron oxide? And even though the most common is what we know as rust red, there is a form of iron oxide which is black. So there you have it. And this is yellow oxide, also known as yellow ochre, I think. And you say, okay, what is special about all these? And the last one we have here is carbon black, our good old friend carbon black. Yes, I've got two blacks here. Why? Because they have different densities. And, as I was saying, Sonja does not have specific gravity information, but other paint companies do. Now you sort of say, yeah, but what's the use of that? Because all the different paint companies are going to make different paints, and the formulas are all going to be different. Yeah, but the pigments are going to be the same, more or less. So my logic is that if you want to find out if you want to line up your paints in order of density, then if you get one brand's paints and line them up in order of density, then you can be pretty hopeful that another brand's paints using the same pigments will line up in the same order of density, even if the actual densities are different from paint from one company to another company. That's my theory. So I discovered that chromium oxide green is more dense than titanium white and more dense than Mars black. So it's the densest, in fact, that I have. So according to this, we have green oxide is the most dense, then cadmium yellow light, then Mars black. Yellow oxide and titanium white are the same density, which is why I put yellow oxide in instead of titanium white, just to change it up a bit, you know, have it yellow instead of white. Then burnt umber, ultramarine, blue deep, phthalo green, carbon black, hence carbon black is on the top, but there are a few others that are lighter than carbon black, which will be interesting. Phthalo blue, red violet, dioxazine purple, transparent magenta and napthol crimson are all lighter than carbon black according to this. So we shall see what happens with this flip cup. And, you know, I'm keeping it relatively simple with only 4 colours, even though 2 of them are black. Yeah. I'm not really sure how long I'm supposed to allow this to sit. I suppose it also depends on how full the cup is and whether you're supposed to tap it or not. I'm tapping it. Okay, whatever. Here we go. And we're letting it drip. Oh, look at those cells going crazy. Wow. Wow. That is so cool. So I think what that means is that possibly my carbon black is too thin, but the other ones are okay. Yay, I've got palette knives. And the masking tape is flipping up. So we've got the yellow and the green going crazy. And then we have the two blacks and no way of telling the difference. Though someone did say to me that carbon black and Mars black actually do look different to each other. But, well, I'm getting paint all over my nice disposable gloves. That's all swirly. It's nice to be swirly. Swirly is fun. And now, the torch. And I will try not to burn anything this time. Yeah, see, I can definitely see some air bubbles popping. There's air bubbles popping, look, like air bubbles popping. Not a lot of micros. Oh no, I'm wrong. Here they come. Kind of dull into the black, and I think I'm burning it again. Oh, pyromaniac! That's what I am. Okay, I think, yes, it's a very dark and gloomy. Hey, but nothing wrong with dark and gloomy. It's all, you know, like monster mash. Yeah, it's a monster mash. Makes you think of Halloween, except unfortunately it will dry even darker than that. So we may lose a lot. Put that aside and dip this into the black and white and black and green and yellow and black. A lot of black. I like that. And looky, there's some cells and they're moving. They're moving already. Just look at them go. Wow, and there's a little bit of yellow coming up too. Wow. Down here. Okay, butane torch time. Yeah, well, it's doing something. Let's see if I can... Yeah, that yellow is going crazy.